Now this will be a short lesson on a question that I get all the time in my workshops. Should I be using DNG as a raw file substitute? Well, let's try to answer that question. The DNG file is a raw file format invented by Adobe in 2004 as an attempt to create a standardized raw format in digital photography. Now on paper this might sound like a good idea, but let's read some of the fine print about this seemingly free format and learn why you should just say no. Now isn't it interesting that in all this time neither Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji, or Olympus, together which represent about 91.7% of the camera market share in the US, include DNG as an option for raw images. Let's have a look at what may be the reason. Now to begin with, the DNG format is almost identical to TIFF standards. That has no legal language in its usage whatsoever and is fully supported by all photo manipulation software. Strange though, because Adobe also invented the TIFF format. So they didn't put any legal restrictions in TIFF. That's why everybody uses it. Now, there are legal fishhooks in DNG that very few people realize. DNG is the only image format of any kind that carries any kind of licensing requirements. Now this is the Wikipedia page for DNG, and as you can see here, it's full of all kinds of information, and I just about guarantee you that Adobe wrote this article, and the reason I know that is because Wikipedia flagged it for promotional content, which tells you everything you need to know. All right, so let's scroll through this and see what we have. Rationale, objectives, technical summary, yammer, the timeline of the improvements and the adoptions, yammer, the reception in the marketplace. Notice here it says the reaction to DNG has been mixed. No kidding. DNG conversion, blah, blah, blah. More talk. Summary of the products that support DNG in some way. All the Adobe products, obviously, and a list of digital cameras, related software. None of the major camera manufacturers that we saw before are included in this list. Third-party software, versions of the specification over time, blah, 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 yammer, standardization. Now, here at the bottom, this is the fishhook. This is the part you need to be aware of. Adobe published a patent license for DNG that allows everyone to exploit DNG. So far, so good. On the condition that the licensee prominently displays text saying it is licensed from Adobe in source and documentation, and that the license may be revoked if the licensee brings any patent action against Adobe or its affiliates related to the reading or writing of files that comply with the DNG specification. I think this is a shady reference to any corruptions that may occur as a result of the coding of it. I don't understand that stuff, but I think this is what Adobe is saying. The license, however, does not refer to any patent linked to DNG, because there is none, okay? Now, in 2009, Adobe states that there are no known intellectual property encumbrances or license requirements for a subset of DNG, which is Cinema DNG. I mean, this is all getting so very, very complicated. So let's try to get some simplification. We'll go to the Adobe website and take a look at what they say about digital negatives. And it's almost word for word exactly the same thing that's in the Wikipedia article. Key benefits, hardware, software, resources, the SDK, the DNG specifications, blah, 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 yammer, TIFF specifications. They even offer a digital file converter piece of software for your use, I assume. The downloads. Here's the Adobe DNG converter for Mac and for Windows. Here's the DNG specification patent license. Look at this. Look at all this verbiage. Grant of rights. Blah, 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 blah. Revocation. No warranty, etc., etc. Now, what camera manufacturer in their right mind would stick their neck in Adobe's noose only to have them yank on it at some point in the future when they decide that enough people have adopted this standard that they can now make money on it or restrict its usage in some way. Unbelievable. The bottom line is, just say no. It's not worth the work. It's not worth the extra effort. You're not getting anything that a TIFF image can't give you. I mean, it makes no sense. And basically, the DNG file is the Yugo of the digital photography industry. It's the Yugo that was a good idea, but apparently nobody likes. Just say no to DNG.